Tom is standing on a footbridge when he sees a trolley hurtling down the track toward 5 people. If the trolley is not stopped, it will kill all 5. At that moment, a fat man happens to be standing right beside Tom. If Tom pushes the fat man off the footbridge, the man would block the trolley and save the 5 people, but he himself would be killed. Should Tom push the fat man off the footbridge? Many argue that, from a consequentialist perspective, Tom should push the man off the bridge. Consequentialism aims to maximize total utility, implying that infringing upon the rights of a few is permissible if doing so increases total utility. In this example, the fat man's rights would be violated to increase total utility. Scholars often cite this case to criticize consequentialism for its alleged disregard for individual rights. Unfortunately, these critics are mistaken because they fail to calculate total utility correctly. If total utility were properly assessed, they would recognize that consequentialism would not permit Tom to push the fat man off the bridge. Suppose that the law permitted infringing upon the interests of a minority in order to increase total utility. In the above example, Tom could exploit such a law to justify pushing the fat man off the bridge. This would indeed increase total utility if human beings were selfless. However, in reality, humans are selfish. Once the law permits such actions, most people would exploit it to pursue personal gain rather than to increase total utility. The most typical example of this tendency is rulers, who represent the state. This position enables them to infringe upon anyone's rights in the name of the state. In fact, rulers in dictatorships have historically relied on precisely this justification to perpetrate violence against their citizens. Thus, a paradoxical phenomenon emerges. Nations in which such actions are legally permitted tend to be impoverished and underdeveloped, whereas those that prohibit them tend to be prosperous and strong. Consequently, from a consequentialist perspective, a correct calculation of total utility leads to the following conclusion. To prevent national impoverishment and underdevelopment, dictatorship by rulers must be prevented. To prevent dictatorship, the law must prohibit any individual or organization from infringing upon personal rights. However, because the ultimate goal is maximizing total utility, individual rights cannot be regarded as absolutely inviolable. Conscription, for example, infringes upon personal rights. Theories that emphasize individual rights often struggle to justify this practice, but consequentialism provides a straightforward explanation. At moments of national survival, if the government were to respect individual choice entirely, it is highly likely that no one would be willing to go to the battlefield, leading to the nation's collapse. Even in such circumstances, however, the government cannot act arbitrarily. To avoid sliding into dictatorship, it must ensure that the conscription process is fair.